What's up everybody, it's Robin Gaming here. So the Uncharted series is known for always having some good villains, and look at previous games in the series, there's been some quite significant ones, some really signature villains from Eddie Raja to Harry Flynn to Zoran Lazarevic, all, great ones that made a real big impact on the games that we played. So with Uncharted 4, the question is, of course, is Naughty Dog able to outdo what they already kind of like set up with previous games, and are the new villains going to be going to have just as big of an impact as these ones? So what we know so far is Uncharted 4 will have two main villains, and those are called Nadine Ross and Rafe Adler. But at the same time, they've left it, and by they I mean Naughty Dog of course, they've left it very mysterious who these people actually are. We really don't know too much about them, so let's pretty much talk about them in this video, what we know so far, and discuss if they can have that same impact that the previous ones have had in the other games. So let's talk about Nadine Ross first, who was also the first villain that actually really got introduced to us through cutscenes and stuff. We know Nadine Ross is a South African kind of badass female, right? She's like a leader of a military group which is called Shoreline. Those are the enemies that Nathan Drake pretty much fights against in all of the gameplay demos that we've seen so far. And she is played by Laura Bailey, a pretty famous video game voice actor who has done many different roles. For example, the one I know of from most, I guess, recently is Fetch from Infamous. So yeah, Nadine Ross, we saw her in that cutscene, for example, where Nathan Drake and Sam were together with Sully trying to infiltrate in this formal formal party that was going on. Sully there met up with Nadine, had this kind of conversation. There seemed to be some kind of history between the two, but Nadine kind of like forgave Sully for some reason, for whatever the hell he did, right? And offered him a drink basically. And then in a later cutscene we saw Nathan Drake entering a room where he found something that he needed, but Nadine Ross managed to actually catch him on that, and they got into kind of like a melee fist brawl, right? So that's pretty much where it ended, and that's pretty much where, all we know about the character, right? There's really not much more to it than that, except for that we know she is that leader of a military group called Shoreline. So, because she was revealed actually for the first time instead of Rafe, many people thought that Nadine Ross would be the biggest villain in the game, but that's not true at all, because Rafe Adler actually is the true biggest villain in the game, who hires Nadine to work for him. So, Rafe Adler is basically, his real name is Raphael Adler, and he is a treasure hunter, just like Nathan Drake, just like Sam, who this time around actually grew up in some kind of rich family. That's what Naughty Dog have stated so far. Not only that, they've also said that there is apparently some kind of history between Nathan, Sam and Rafe, and that was very clear from what we saw in the trailer so far. Think about the most recent Uncharted 4 story trailer, where Rafe literally has this conversation with Nathan Drake, telling him that he would allow him to go home, go back to his family, leave everything behind, or else they would end it right there. So there is definitely some history between the two, and it makes me very curious what that is. It seems that they have been friends in the past or whatever. It might be some kind of like similar situation like Nathan Drake had with Harry Flynn in Uncharted 2, where they actually knew each other already for a long time, maybe worked together, got a lot of respect for each other, but at the same time have their own kind of like individual goals, right? So therefore, although Rafe did say that he would allow Drake to go home, at the same time, if Drake, turned out not to do it, then they would definitely end it right there. So yeah, what that backstory exactly is going to be, I have no idea myself, but I'm very, very curious to find it out. And we know that Rafe, for example, is also played by Warren Cole. He's the actor playing Rafe. I don't think he's really done a lot of video game work yet. So yeah, I'm very curious to see how exactly he's going to pull it off. But so far, I would say Rafe out of the two, to me personally, looks like the most interesting villain because of that backstory, because I want to find out what exactly, went on there, what the relationship between these three characters is going to be. So for now, that is basically everything we know about the villains in Uncharted 4. So I would like to know from you in the comments, do you think they'll be able to live up to all the expectations we have from villains so far based on the other Uncharted games? Can they outdo them? And at the same time, what do you think that backstory between Rafe, Sam and Nate is going to be? So for now, I would like to thank you a lot for watching. Of course, leave a quick like on the video if you enjoyed it, and then I hope to see you again next time.